Hey everyone of Witches of the Moon. I am Quentin, also known as BraveHawk. I'll be filling in for October Rain. I'll be Dia's new co-host. So Dia asked me to kind of give an intro of myself as well, as talk about the topic. So I'm going to do the intro and then the topic. So maybe it will lead into the topic if I'm really good. Um, so basically my background is um, I'm a Buddhist witch, which a lot of people are taken aback from because you don't see a lot of us. Because most people that go into Buddhism kind of reject everything else, and most, I'm not saying everyone, um, I do follow the Buddhist precepts, if anyone knows about those. It's kind of like the commandments in the Bible, but it's pretty much, right mind, right speech, right body, um, along with a couple others, but those are the general ones. But I wasn't always a Buddhist. I've only been a Buddhist for, a Buddhist witch, rather, for about 5 years, but I've always been basically a witch. Magical, whatever you want to call it, spiritual. Um, so basically, growing up, even though my mom has a strong Christian background, um, she didn't really display that to us. She just sort of just kept it in her heart, in a sense, like most people should do their spirituality. Keep it in your heart. Don't try to convert anyone, because that's not what religion is about. It's religion is more a structure, in a sense. It's not about converting other people. So if you're in a religion that tells you to convert other people, you're just doing their advertising for them. That's my particular belief. But getting back onto the topic is my mom just sort of just kept it in her heart. So she never really displayed that to us. She never really taught us anything from the Bible. And my grandparents and my immediate family, they weren't really religious on my dad's side because that was the only family I had. Um, so there was a point where my mom was like, you guys are old enough to walk to church on your own, and I need a Sunday to myself. So how about it? So my mom kind of used that as kind of like a free babysitting, I guess you can say. But she had good intentions. I really think. I think she was, that was just the excuse she told us. Maybe there was something more to it. I don't know. Um, so till I was about 7, 8, and then my mom met someone at her work that kind of, like, I guess you can say, turned our world upside down. She met someone that was into Native American stuff and Native American dancing. So we got into, me and my other brother, we got into this Native American dancing group. So on the weekends now, we were um, either practicing our Native American dancing, or we were touring Florida, doing shows and stuff for the Native American dancing, or we were at church. So I had like a dual spiritual thing going on at an early age. Um, I was hiding one from the other, and there was a point where I finally said I'm going to choose one over the other, and so my identity crisis wasn't like other kids where they just wanted to be popular and they need to, kind of ditch their old friends to get new friends. Mine was more of, it was a spiritual battle, in a sense. So that's how I got into I guess you could say shamanism, because there was a shaman that was always in contact with us. I did fancy dancing and hoop dancing up until I was about 16, I believe. And I actually went through a naming ceremony. I went through the sweat lodge. I went through the naming ceremony, and I also did something called the vision quest. Um, so how I'm going to segue that into the topic is, um, the naming ceremony, you go through a sweat lodge. You go through basically a week where you seclude yourself from pretty much everyone and everything except your immediate family. It's very similar to Santeria and Voodoo. Before they go into an initiation, they pretty much separate themselves from basically the world, so they are pretty much not, so they don't get tainted or they get, you know bad ideas or whatever you want to call it, negative intentions. Um, so for that whole week, I was separated from, everyone. I couldn't go to my friends. I couldn't go pretty much anywhere other than my room. I was pretty much, that was the point where I picked up meditation. But I was always a kid that needed time to myself. I'm one of those people that if I don't have time to myself, you don't want to be around me. So that was kind of something that, I guess it came naturally after a while. But with that being, going back onto the topic, you go through a sweat lodge before the ceremony, which cleanses you of everything, and then you get your name, which mine was BraveHawk, which is why I continue to use that name. So, and then after that, you go through a vision quest, which is kind of the pinnacle part of getting your name. It's something that you can't just pick a name and then boom, you got it. You kind of have to earn that name. So, getting back onto the topic, the vision quest is literally something that kind of awakens you. And I tell people that, you know, for all those years that I was alive, up until that point, I was asleep. I was blissfully ignorant. And so when I went on that vision quest, you're in the middle of the woods by yourself. You have, pretty much a handful of food, and um, you're out there for a week, and it's just you, and you really do start, seeing things. I believe things have opened up, at that point in time, things opened up inside me. You know, I might have had all these spiritual things already inside me, but I think these things opened up and it came out. Not that I'm saying everyone should go through a vision quest. I think it's a supervised thing. So if you do go on it, you know, make sure you bring a friend that's somewhere close to you that where they can pop in and check on you, because we did ours and we had someone that was, you know they're a fair ways away from us, but they did make sure to check up on us, whether we know they were checking up on us or not. So I use that as a disclaimer. So please don't go out there and get hurt. So when I was out there and I was seeing things, and things were opening up, I literally thought I was going crazy. I didn't know what it was. It was something they didn't prepare me for, in a sense. I know it was called Vision Quest, but at that time I didn't know what visions were. I didn't know mediumship. I didn't know or anything like that. So afterwards, we had a big dinner because after you've been starving a week, you want some food. So they had a big dinner for us, and we were able to, if we wanted to, discuss the ideas and the things that were happening to us. And there were some things that I'm not going to tell you, but they're kind of private. But I discussed it with them because I really thought that I was hallucinating or maybe going crazy, or I don't know. And they kind of just told me, no, that's actually very normal. You were blessed with a gift. That's what, and you should treat it as a gift. You never disrespect your gift, because your gift will, in a sense, it will leave you at a time that you need it. Um, and so I've always kept those, that advice with me. So if you are a medium, or if you want to go down the medium road, you don't have to go on a vision quest. It might enhance your abilities, but there are some things that you can do that I'll list here some advice as far as opening up those channels in yourself. as far as becoming a medium, the first and foremost thing that I always say is meditation. You know, meditation is a key point to a lot of things, especially when it comes to intuition. Because, like I said, you know, there's a moment where you think you're going crazy because you start hearing these things, you start seeing these things, and in the beginning, it's very true that everything will come at you at once. I know when I was on my vision quest, everything came to me at once. You know, I was seeing visuals, I was hearing things, I even was feeling things. You know, I guess you can say like a body trip. You know, there was things that I felt like my body was in a sense cleansing itself, and as it was cleansing itself, these things, you know, a byproduct of that was, you know, coming in touch with nature, coming in touch with my ancestors, coming in touch, you know, with the creator. Um, and I think that only strengthened my relationship with, you know, the deities, you know, with my ancestors and my spirituality. Um, so that's how basically I kind of got into my skills set. So hopefully I tied that well into my intro. And if you have any questions, ask me. You know, but um, although, you know, I was a shaman. You know, I taught basically the shaman ways in a sense. My Native American heritage. You know, right now I'm a Buddhist witch, which is something that, you know, I hold dear because I strongly believe that even though I was granted a gift, you know, granted this wonderful thing of mediumship and, you know, tapping into the energies and seeing things, um, there are points in your life where you think you're going crazy. Even if you know you're not going crazy, for some reason your mind will, it can be a trickster sometimes. And I use meditation as a way to remind me that, you know, I need to ground myself. I need to remember that this is who I am, and I am not going crazy. And that's where, you know, I use meditation as that tool to keep me sane. You know, um, meditation is, you know, very strong. It's a very strong tool, and I think it's a key tool to learn before you move on to doing anything um, else. Because like I tell a lot of people that you shouldn't go into meditation, you shouldn't go into these exercises saying I'm gonna go in and do this, because your mind will always have a different agenda for you. So I say that what happens is these things that you want are usually a byproduct. Like if you want to be a medium, or if you want to astral project, it's usually a byproduct of cleansing yourself, knowing yourself, and keeping yourself undistracted. Um, it's sort of like when you go to sleep and sometimes you have, you know, a lucid dream or you astral project. It's the same way in that sense that um, it's a byproduct. You might thought you were going to go to sleep, but now there's something else that's happening. And I believe, you know, that's what happens is, you know, you need to cleanse yourself, and when your body is ready and prepped for that, you'll do it. And you can do it whenever you want to do it, you know. But you have to prep your body, prep your mind to get into that state of mind to do what you want to do. So that's my first step. My first tip to you is meditation. Um, the second step is always trust your intuition, whether you think you're going crazy or not. Um, I don't know if anyone has watched the show Medium, but that is a very almost accurate representation of people who are mediums, because you do strange things and you don't know why, and then later on you find out it was actually for a reason. Um, when I'm giving a reading to someone and I'm letting them know things, I don't judge anything that comes through, because judgment is what kills it. You know, you sort of just open that channel and put everything out there, and if it doesn't sync up, that's fine. But usually, what happens later on, something happens, and they realize, okay, that I understand that now. So trust your intuition is the second step. Um, as far as anything else, you know, the stronger your emotions are, the stronger that you are distracted with negative things, that's going to block you. Or even worse, it's going to carry into your ability of mediumship. Meaning that if you are thinking negative things and you are practicing negative things, you are probably going to, attract negative energies, in a sense that you will attract these things that you think are valid things, valid spirits, valid um, channels, or whatever you connect to, and you think it's valid, and you tell someone, and it's actually something completely different, and it affects their life in a negative way. So my my other thing that I was saying is make sure you're protected, in a sense that your best protection is a good defense, in a sense that make sure you're very cleansed in yourself, you're very grounded. We all know ourselves, and if we get some kind of strange voice in our head, we know it's not ours. And so, yes, you can trust your intuition and say that that's very valid, but if somehow it seems very negative, and it seems like something that it's going to hurt the other person, you can tell them like, hey, this is what it's coming through, but you know what? I'm not sure that's great for you. You can test it out and try it, but at any point if you feel that it's wrecking your life, stop. And I tell that there are some things that come through to my clients that have happened, and I tell them up front as like I don't know. I don't know if you're connected to these negative energies or not, but this is what's going on. This is how I feel. Even though this is being said, tapping into your life energy. I'm just not sure if that's great for you. But use my whatever I'm giving you as a resource. Um, let's see what else. This is becoming a very long video, isn't it? So that's pretty much it as far as mediumship. As far as astral projection or dream walking, um, those two things, I really feel like they're hand in hand. I know it's not part of the topic, but I'm going to include dream walking along with astral projection, because um, astral projection is a conscious thing, and dream walking is, although you're conscious, it's an unconscious thing. It's something that your body can do, and you can train your body to, like I said, your body needs prep work, and you can prep your body to go into that state. Um, so as far as astral projection, um, like it's the same thing with practicing to be a medium, and channeling different spirits and stuff. It's you're basically channeling your own spirit to go somewhere else. So like I say, you're going to have to be your own rock in a sense, and you're going to have to cleanse yourself of things so you don't bring that elsewhere. With astral projection, you can remote view. You can go in your past, present, and future. You can go to another world. I mean, there is really no limit. But the key to astral projection, which is very strange, I know a lot of people don't say this, but it's a strong imagination. I've noticed the people that astral project and actually astral project, and they just don't say that they had a weird dream or whatever. It's always with people that have strong imaginations, because I believe imagination is really a conduit to spirituality. It's a conduit to being yourself, in a sense. It's releasing something from you. Your imagination is not there just to be silly. There is something there that your imagination wants you to explore, and it plays a good key part into going elsewhere, in a sense. So if you don't have a strong imagination, and it might be something that you want to explore to build yourself up in that way, and it might help you out. I know a lot of people try astral projection and it doesn't really work out for them, but like I said, it takes prep. It takes some work to do. You're not gonna sit down and boom, you're there. It might take you a week, it might take you a month, it might take you years, but as you have to be very thorough and very dedicated to it. It's like anything. You can't show up to your job and expect everything handed to you. You've got to work for it. It's the same way in anything to deal with spirituality. If you want it, you got to work for it. Um, and as far as dream walking, my key to that, and I'll actually say that it's good for astral projection as well, um, is drink lots of water. I've noticed when I come out of my dream walking, um, when I wake up and I realize, hey, I was dream walking, you know, I am super dehydrated. Like I'm so parched, and like basically all of the water in my body has gone to my bladder, and I have to replace that. Um, so if you find yourself, you know, not remembering your dreams, but you are extremely dehydrated, most likely that you probably went somewhere, and you probably want to work on some like memory exercises. I know this is probably a strange thing to recommend for people who are trying to remember their dreams, but if you ever played the card game Memory, uh, play the card game Memory before you go to bed with your kids or with someone around you, and it'll actually work that muscle, your brain muscle, so it'll help you, and you'll start to remember your dreams. Another good thing is after you wake up is to start a dream journal. That's very good too. I myself haven't had success with that. My success was actually playing Memory before I go to bed. There's some things on an app called Luminosity. I actually did that before I went to bed, but I found myself when I did that I was a little restless. I woke up, I felt like I was very restless and that I didn't get any sleep, so I actually stopped doing that. So I just do the memory game, as well as you can do a before bed meditation. You can do an after bed meditation, meaning you can try to clear your mind and try to see if there is anything in there that your body wants to tell you, because your body remembers everything you do, and there's something in there. Um, if you dream walk or you astral project when you're sleeping or anything like that, um, your body will remember that, and it'll lock that away. And sometimes that comes out in meditation, not always, but sometimes. And so you can ask your body, is there anything I need to know today? You know. Um, I know this video is getting really long, so I'm gonna end it here before I start really rambling and just talk gibberish. But I'm always here for questions. Feel free to post any questions. All right, you guys have a great week.